Yeah, good to be back. Driving into campus last night, it felt like a lot of memories were coming back to me. Thrilled to be here, and as I'm looking over the roster and doing my homework to cover this game, I feel like this is as stable of a team as they've had in all my years being around the program. There just aren't that many question marks, and so I think that's exciting. Obviously, the bar's been set very high with the success last season, but on paper right now, it seems like they have what they need to be able to continue the high standard. And also really excited about Flozel's announcement and the north end zone expansion and being able to create a better game day locker room because I don't know how many of you have been in there, but that locker room was tight, and I think it was built to hold about 70 guys, and Coach D'Antonio usually dressed everybody on the team, so you had over 100 guys in there on game day, so it was really tight, and that'll be a huge change, both for the players on game day, for the recruits to be able to see. It makes a big difference and should help the overall experience. I'll take any questions you have.
I have a question for you. Being in an NFL locker room, you have guys bragging about Alabama and LSU and things like this. Two questions. One, when you brag about Michigan State, what do you say? I guess my second question is, why has this program been able to be stable where in the past it wasn't very stable?
Well, I'll answer your first question first. I said in my Big Ten luncheon speech that when I go somewhere, I hope to be accomplished enough that the Spartan fans and alumni and coaches and current players will look and follow me and say, he's one of us, he's one of ours. But what I say to my current teammates with the Redskins is when the Spartans come on, I say, I'm one of them. And I probably wear Michigan State gear around the Redskins facility more than I wear anything else. And guys give me a little bit of a hard time about it, but I'm proud of where I came from and have great memories from being here. Secondly, the stability, I think, goes back to starting at the top with Coach D'Antonio. He's recruited the right kind of people. He used to always say that you win with people. So at the end of the day, talent, yes, that gets you somewhere, but you got to get the right kind of people in and then the wrong kind of people out. And from his coaching staff that he's assembled to his support staff to the players themselves, it's just good people, and there aren't people who are negative. There are people who are positive and taking this program in the right direction. I think that, as a result, then creates stability. Well, I'll be the first one to say I was the one who sat here last year and said I think Andrew Maxwell's going to be the guy, and I was completely wrong. Connor played his way into that starting role, and credit the coaching staff for making a tough decision and making the right decision, but a tough decision to go with Connor. What makes him so special, I think we're going to find out over the next couple of years, but we started to see it at the end of last year. When you throw for over 300 yards in the two biggest games of the year as a sophomore in your first year starting, that says it all right there. I mean, you see the potential. I think early in his starting career, to be expected, you're going to play not to lose. You're going to allow the defense to win you some games, and he was smart to, play a little more conservatively, but you could see him grow up as the year went on and continue to take over the team more and more, and I think that's what's exciting for fans is to know that they got a taste of it at the end of last season, but there's probably going to be a lot more coming this junior year and senior year. So what makes him special, I think it's his work ethic, his drive. I mean, from what I see on summer break, spring break, he's going to train, he's going to work, he's always hungry for more knowledge, trying to get better. And anytime you have that mentality, you're going to go places. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think everybody wants to do the broadcasting thing because it is a great opportunity. It's fun to still be around the game. And you don't have to put in quite as many hours or have quite as much stress as a coach does. So I think it's a good way to segue to a career that still gets you around the game. So I got to stay sharp. I got to keep learning. I got to keep getting better. And so I feel like I'm back redshirting on the scout team again, trying to learn the ways of a broadcaster. So I'll be picking Kevin Kugler's brain quite a bit today. And I found last year was really fun, really helpful. And I'll just keep trying to do it every year they're willing to invite me back.
Kirk, you said that you didn't see a lot of weaknesses in this team. What are some things that you're going to look at closely in this game that you're anxious to see kind of play out?
I think as you look up the middle of the defense, that's where you have some questions. The interior defensive line, the middle linebacker position, as well as one of the safeties positions. So as from a quarterback's perspective, looking right up the middle of the defense, you say, who's going to step up? I don't think it's a matter of, do we have anyone? I think it's just a matter of who and how much experience do they have. But I believe that the coaching staff feels that they've recruited talent at those positions and there's good competition there. So it's not a big question mark like you may have had in past years. It's just a matter of competition and letting things like this spring game play themselves out.
Kirk, when Michigan State won 11 the first time, a lot of people said, okay, that was a blip on the never happen again, and proved it could be done. What's the biggest thing this team has to do after having that this season?
I think the question that Coach D'Antonio has put forth to his players is, can we handle success? And I think he's challenging them. Guys, and the Bible talks about it in Proverbs that you don't test a man with adversity. You really test him with success and see how he handles compliments and how he handles, being patted on the back. That's when you really find out what a guy has inside of him. Can he stay motivated? Can he keep working amidst success? And, knowing Coach D'Antonio, knowing Coach Narduzzi, knowing Coach Manny, I don't think they're creating a culture of contentment. I think the culture is going to always be that theme from last year, which is chase it. And when you look at the schedule and you see Oregon week 2, September 6th, I believe it's at Oregon, it's hard to really get content because you have that challenge looming, and you got your work cut out for you this summer to get ready for that.
Kirk, knowing you're going to be in the booth, do you watch a little bit more Michigan State, or are you like close elbows every chance you can get, you run into a TV during the season to try and see Michigan State play?
Yeah, I do watch as much as I can, and obviously last year as the snowball kept rolling and each game kept getting bigger and more meaningful, I'm watching even more closely. So absolutely, in the whole team hotel, they got the TVs on in our meal rooms where we're eating on Saturday afternoons, and I'm always tuning into the games and getting score updates. My dad will text me, and at home on the bye week, I always get my high school friends together at the house, and we'll watch the game, the Spartan game, and still haven't been back for an actual game here on campus. Went to the Rose Bowl, but hopefully one day on a bye week can get back here for a home game too.
What's next for you, Kirk? What are you looking at?
Yeah. Well, 2 more years on my contract with the Redskins, and I really do like it in D.C. I like our new coaching staff. I think Coach Gruden, from a quarterback's perspective, the way I see it, really knows what he's talking about. He knows quarterbacking, so that's going to be great for my development as a quarterback. And, it's just the accumulation of knowledge gradually, just trying to get better every day, learn a little bit more, and hopefully take a big jump here between year 2 and year 3. And I want this thing to last as long as it possibly can. I'm not trying to become a full-time broadcaster too soon. So I'd like to play football for a little while, and I got to play my way into that.
The other thing, I know you're playing behind a guy that's a big figure in the National Football League, but you're a guy, you're not going to be a backup the rest of your career. You're going to be a starter at some point. How do you be patient until that day comes, and how anxious or eager are you to see that day come?
I think you just understand that that's part of life, being patient. Nothing's being handed to you. You got to earn your way. And when you look at the stories of other starting quarterbacks in the league, a lot of these guys who are having major success now and going to the playoffs every year and going to Pro Bowls, things weren't handed to them right away. They had to kind of wait their turn or pay their dues or earn their way. So I fully expect that that's part of the process, and I don't think that I'm entitled to anything. So I'll just continue to work hard, hopefully play well enough in practice and in preseason games, and if I get an opportunity in regular season games, play well enough to earn an opportunity with some other team or, a roster spot back with the Redskins. So it's a constant challenge to stay in the league and keep building on what you've done previously.
Got to get your thoughts on unionization and
Yeah.
all the things going on in college sports right now.
I don't fully understand it. I think it's really interesting. I think to push the NCAA to try to at least look and say, how can we do this better, I think is a good thing. Even if a union doesn't get formed or whatever they're trying to accomplish, to start to just push people to ask the question, how can we do this better? How can we make this thing work, in a more fair and better process? I think that's a good thing. So I was happy to see that we can now put cream cheese on the bagels with the student athletes. I think that's a step in the right direction. But somewhere you got to draw the line between, do you give these guys, millions of dollars a year, or do you just give them cream cheese on a bagel? I think there's somewhere in between we got to find that's a good balance.
If it got to cost of attendance, at least at the 5-hour conferences, maybe something better in terms of medical care, or do you think the majority of athletes would be placated by that? Would that be satisfactory to enough people?
I think it's an evolution. It's a process. So I was happy, to hear that we have a training table when I first got here, and that we do get certain things. Obviously I didn't know the economics behind the whole process and how it works. So again, I think it's a gradual process. I don't think it's going to happen overnight, but to continue to take steps in the right direction is a good thing. And I think the NCAA recognizes that. I think they're looking at themselves and trying to do things better and better every day. And I think the players at least got to be happy with the fact that it seems like they're trying to move in that direction.
Anything else for Kirk?
Yeah, Kirk, your family traveled and got to see you play all the time. A lot of guys didn't have, their families didn't have the ability to do that. How important would it be if the NCAA made an allowance where their families could at least go to postseason games?
Right. Yeah, I remember sitting in my apartment just the other day watching the national championship of the basketball game, and you start to think about how are these parents getting to Dallas from Connecticut or Kentucky or wherever they're coming from. It's just an interesting dynamic because now I do think about it from a professional perspective, and I have gotten educated through the NFLPA about different issues and things going on that I was completely naive to as a college player, and so. You wonder and see how could we do that? Is it possible? And I think, like I said, just asking those questions is a step in the right direction. And obviously, as a player, you'd love to be able to have your parents have their way paid to the game. But those are all discussions that they're complicated and it's not an easy thing to figure out. But as a player, you'd love to see it head in that direction.